What's up, and welcome to Nighttime at the Nerd Bar. We're on episode 3. Super excited to be here with all of you talking about nerdy things. I'm Kari Lane, and my awesome co-host over here is...
Yeah, I'm Katie Cullen. Like, we've got it figured out. I think we might
Yay!
actually be keeping that name. We'll see.
Right.
We're,
Yes.
they're like, it's a
And then,
placeholder. Oh, it's taken over the place.
and then I
No
was like,
longer living
wait.
it.
I didn't think about it till like right now, but I was like, wait, we're doing a weird, creepy purple color because of the weird, creepy purple in the episode of Demon Slayer.
Yes, we've
So we'll
changed
talk
the
about
lower
that.
thirds.
Yes, fun. So yeah, we're gonna have some different news, things that excited us. We're gonna talk about Demon Slayer as well as some gaming exciting stuff. New this time, Katie's gonna be telling us about something interesting.
Yes.
uh, Anime or any other shows we're watching, and then just kind of cool recommendations on stuff you should be checking out. So let's get to our... Yay! There's our... This is our
Yeah,
show.
it's
Yay!
us. It
And
is.
then if you are brand new to our channel, welcome, or welcome to this show too. You can check out last week, Katie and I did a breakdown of introducing ourselves, what got us into anime, what kind of shows are our favorites, and then welcome returning people and new people. Leave comments down below if you're not watching it live.
And if
All
you are
right.
live, the live chat.
Yes,
Get in the live
please.
chat, talk to us.
Love
We
it.
love it. We put your comments on screen. We have a grand old time. So
Yes.
definitely join in the conversation.
All righty. So we're going to start with things we are excited about. Mine are pretty quick, so I'll just go real quick into that. One we had mentioned it in a previous week. So if you're new to it and missed the announcement, all of the Animations Film Festival videos are available on the Fanversation page, so you can go watch them. All kinds of I talked to producers, I talked to directors, I talked to voice actors. So go check out that variety. Also, if you missed it, the My Hero Academia playlist red carpet videos are also there. And on the Fanversation website, you can see interviews, more press junket style, with some of the My Hero Academia cast. So those I'm very excited about that they're all
And
available for you
also
to watch.
you.
Yeah.
Yes.
And looking ahead, another anime movie coming out. Sword Art Online is coming out with a new movie beginning in December. Stay tuned for that. There might be some fun coverage coming your way, including possible voice actors and such. And you know, and you can buy tickets starting sometime soon. I think they pushed the date back a little bit, so I'll provide a link down below to go look up tickets. But yes, Katie, what are you excited about this week?
So, as the resident gamer, and as someone who I don't want to say grew up on this because this was definitely my later high school and then college years, G4 is back, baby. Launch date is actually tomorrow. They have
Wow.
been doing live streams on Twitch and YouTube for a chunk of time now, but they are officially back as an on the TV network tomorrow, the 16th. So, for those of you who did not experience G4 in its heyday, it is a TV channel that is all about gaming. It's gaming news, it's reviews, it's all sorts of different content. They used to play, if you've ever does anyone remember MXC? Does anyone remember Most Extreme Elimination Challenge, which was just Takeshi's Castle with a redub? They used to do episodes of that. So they have a launch week schedule up on their Twitter. They've got all sorts of information up on their Twitter about what they're doing, where you can watch. Attack of the Show is returning according to this schedule. They've got all sorts of fun stuff. It looks like they've also got a D&D show going on. So for those of you who are super into tabletop, G4 has expanded just from video games. We're in the tabletop realm now as well. And yeah, that's back tomorrow. I'm excited, you guys.
Yeah, that's exciting. I actually remember going to E3 one year and being paid as background to be the audience for them. And they had like a segment at E3, and it was super fun. Of just like, we were just like the people behind them, of like, hey, we're back from commercial break and we're going back into commercial. And then when we were done with our day, they let us wander around. So I was like, sweet.
Like
But
if
that's awesome. It's come
anyone,
back.
yeah, like if anyone's fit to cover E3, it's Nerdist and also it's G4, but those are two completely separate entities. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's back. Like it's been back as a few streaming channels for a chunk of time, but it is back as a TV network tomorrow. And
Nice.
that's pretty awesome.
Nerds are taking over. Yay.
I feel like because when last I watched it, I think it went under in like early 2010s was when it
Hmm.
stopped. I don't remember. It's been a chunk of time. But I feel like nowadays, with gaming being more mainstream, with people understanding tabletop more than just the satanic panic from count 'em 3 decades ago, I feel
Mm.
like now is a good time for it to come back. I don't
Yeah.
necessarily think it was ahead of its time when it aired,
Hmm.
but I don't think the built-in audience was there. I feel like we
Yes.
definitely have that now.
Oh yeah. I think more people are just aware of it and like where to find it and just all kind of game stuff is far more accessible to a large audience, and the internet has made that even more. I mean, not that the internet wasn't around when it came out, but
Yeah.
it's just even easier to get access to it, and whatever on your phone and just wherever you are. Yeah.
The heyday of previous G4 was when YouTube was still small and before Twitch existed.
Yeah.
So things are a little different nowadays.
And TikTok, like
Yeah,
short,
yeah.
really short form content. Oh yeah.
So yeah,
Nice.
that'll be fun. They have some returning talent, they have some brand new talent. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yes, just I'm excited.
Yay.
Yeah.
Uh, let's check out. And
So
then
that's
that
what
was,
excites me.
say it again.
So that's what excites me.
Yes, our exciting news for all of you viewers and listeners out there. All right, then I know what a lot of you are excited about is Demon Slayer. It is continuing. We're continuing on the Mugen Train arc, so it's pretty much what the movie was, but it's nice to rewatch it to refresh it.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of good fighting this episode. And
Very good.
I was gonna say semi hot take TBH. Sometimes Inosuke can like annoy me so much. But
Inosuke is an acquired taste. I
yes,
have acquired it.
this episode, he was so funny of him just like,
Yeah.
hey, guess what? The whole train is a demon. He's like, I knew it. I called it. I was like, all right, sir, yes,
Why
that was,
haven't you been listening to me the whole time?
yeah.
Obviously, I knew it. Like, okay, he's basically the ancient aliens guy, except he's
He's like,
actually right.
yeah,
Just train.
yes.
I just
So
there
what
were
do you think of
parts
the
of
episode?
this. Yeah, there were parts of this where I could not stop laughing because we saw the viability of the "I have become one with the train. Would you please set fire
Yeah.
to the sun" plan? And the answer
Hmm.
is no. Like I don't know what he thought he was going to accomplish by being one with the train, but just no.
Also,
Just
is that
no.
like too predictable to have your head be where like the head of a train is? I'm like, is that just a little too
Yeah.
easy,
Like put the head in the
um
caboose. No one's
I was
looking
gonna say
there.
semi side note, we are only going as far as what episode has aired, so sorry
Yes.
if you didn't know that, but we are not going ahead of that, so please don't go ahead of that in the comments. And yes, so anyway, I was like, but you're like the head of the train lid. Okay, but
It's one of those, I don't think this plan was well thought through.
no. And
Buddy,
you
love
like
the
that
enthusiasm, you idiot.
the curveball of Inosuke having a mask of like, well, where do you look for that? And our poor Tanjiro like constantly unaliving himself
Yeah.
to come back, and I'm like, damn, that would just I feel bad for him. I was like,
Yeah.
that's just intense. It's a little too much.
Just it was one big action scene. It was extremely well executed, and good goddamn, I have missed Rengoku. I know it's only been like 2 episodes since he's been
Hmm.
on, but he showed up and I was like, yes,
Yes,
he
and then
has
even
returned.
yes, our fire boy. Wait,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And I
I had a moment. I'm
appreciate
like, wait, yes, yeah.
wait, yeah, that guy? Yeah, that guy. That guy. I appreciate just in terms of fight choreography and who we're placing where that this is a fight that would have been over in 5 seconds if Rengoku were at the head of the train and actively searching for it. But
Hmm.
I do appreciate the understanding of we need to protect literally everyone on this entire train. It's a long train. I will be better suited handling most of these cars because I can do that. Hey, kids, good luck with the head.
Yeah,
I
you go
believe in
look.
you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and then again, speaking of Inosuke being so funny, he's like, yeah, I saw him and he told me what to do, but he was awesome.
Just like,
Yeah, so that
yeah,
was
Rengoku
cool.
has extremely good vibes.
And Zenitsu, he's also very much an acquired taste. I know some
Yeah,
people
still haven't
love
acquired that
him
one yet.
so much and not yucking on your yum. Love him if you want to. He doesn't do it for me. But I enjoyed the humor of him with this bit because it's like him being so cool and then he's not. And then
Well, we've established that he's a more effective fighter when he's asleep or
right?
unconscious. And so
Yes.
I appreciate that we stuck with that for this
Yeah.
movie, that we couldn't wake him up, but it's better that way.
Yeah. And then poor I love the little chibi style Nezuko face when she's like just the dot eyeballs of like, what? What's going on? And yes, she kicked butt too. I'm glad she's back in the
Yes.
fighting of it too.
Like, this is a very good arc, very good movie if you really like Tanjiro and Inosuke.
Mm-hmm.
If you are a Zenitsu fan, it's gonna kind of leave you cold so far.
Yeah.
If you're a Rengoku fan, you are living. So, yeah. And
So
again,
semi like
we're not talking the whole movie. We're not
yeah.
talking spoilers beyond what we've already seen on Funimation. So, yes.
So I don't know ahead because I haven't read the manga, but do you know? And then this you can leave a comment because I'm curious. Is each arc kind of focusing on a new member of the Hashira? Because this is our
I have
fire boy.
no idea.
I'm like, are we gonna get more arcs focusing on them? Because I feel we've only got like samples of them, and it'd be really cool to get. I don't know if we need one for an entire season arc or a whole movie. Like maybe they come in pairs or something, or somebody's in the first half and then somebody's in the back half because they have something else they got to do or whatever. But it'd be nice to meet them more because I feel they're such introduced as such interesting characters, but we don't really get much from them. It really is the do you like their character design and initial first impressions? Because that's all you're getting right now.
I mean, we've had more from the wow, I don't remember her name, but the butterfly poison
Yes,
one. Like,
that's true. Yeah.
we've had her, we've had the water one, and they were
Yeah.
woven in a little more
With
they
the
were woven in
spider
a
plot
little
line.
better. Yeah,
See,
into
that
the
was a good
previous
like
season.
way to have more than one of them together. Like, how do they interact with each other and then everybody else?
But this
Yeah.
train is such, I don't want to call it like a bottle episode, but it kind of
Mm.
is because
Hmm.
it's set on the train. They're not
Yeah.
going anywhere but the
No.
train. So here's
Yeah.
your set of characters. And so having Rengoku as our onboard Hashira kind
Hmm.
of makes him the focus as is.
Yeah.
And
And it's
I'm
nice because we
okay
get
with
his
that,
backstory
honestly.
too. I like getting his
Yeah.
backstory of family and how did he become who he is, kind of a thing. Because some of the characters are like, so how did you get here?
But I mean, we also got do you remember her name? I don't remember her name. Chat, if there's anyone in chat, please help me. Uh again, our bug and poison Hashira, like, we got her backstory and
Oh,
it's very
thank you. There we go. John in the chat says, so the butterfly is Shinobu,
thank you.
Kocho, and
Thank
water
you.
is Gyu Tomioka. Thank you.
Right. Thank you.
Shinobu. I do feel like I'm like,
Yes.
yes, I remember that name.
Yes, that. It's been a while
Yes.
since I've seen you, so I don't remember things. But
Right.
yeah, as far as I remember, we got her backstory. Or no, we got
Yes.
her apprentice's backstory. I
Yes.
need to rewatch that season. It's been a while. But yeah, they've been fairly good at interspersing them. I really do think that the nature of, for one, the fact that this was made as a movie first and then
Mm-hmm.
divided up into seasons, and then just the bottle episode sort of, we are on the train. This is our setting. We're not leaving the train. Um, really requires that focus then. So we just get concentrated Rengoku as opposed to everyone else kind of being more evenly interspersed in what's going on.
I was trying to think of a really bad pun. I'm like, they're box card in. No, that doesn't really work.
Yeah, I'll take it.
They're
You know,
boxed in. It's
sure.
like a
Yeah,
box car
I'll
train.
take it. Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
You need to do better pun training.
Yeah, that one's nothing's coming to me, so it's all right.
You just missed the pun
I've
that I made, but okay.
Oh wait, say you more training. Oh well, I
Hey,
ran out of steam.
hey. Oh, that's a better one. See, you're back on track.
Hey,
Okay, I think we're gonna lose chat if we
we
keep like.
do
I
puns
love
on this
doing
show.
this.
There are some people that do not like puns. It's pretty
Oh, I
amusing.
know. Oh, I'm
Yep.
aware. No, I love doing this, but I also know some people kind of go.
But you know what?
So,
When it's a good pun, anybody really should be like, "All right, that was well." It's because it's
oh, the best
being
ones
clever
are
with words.
the best ones are the gloriously terrible ones. The one where you get
That too.
everyone just going, ah, perfect. I
Yeah,
love them.
they're essentially like the epitome
Anyway,
of bad dad jokes. But yeah.
yes,
Was there anything else in this episode? I like their
that
standard.
stinger, the
The what?
post-credit stinger.
Yeah, I'm glad they do the post-credit stuff because it does end where you're like, what? Is this just where we're ending? And I'm like, well, I'm glad there's more episodes because if you had to wait, that'd just be really annoying.
Yeah, but the stinger was weird.
Yeah, this show always has fun, weird stuff.
A little weird. Yeah.
Would you care to elaborate on why you thought it was weird?
You watched it.
I know, but you were just so adamant that I'm like,
the the weird Bara Nezuko design was certainly an option. That
they,
was because usually we get like the little fact, and instead we
yeah,
got an animated 4 coma, basically.
I
It's
think
a little
they're.
wild.
Do you like with end credit scenes when it adds to the plot, like it's not necessarily something covered in the episode, but maybe expands on it? Or do you want them more for previews? Like there's a few categories. There's kind of then just straight previews for next time. And then there's previews for next time that is still commentary about what's going on with it's like more just the visuals for next time, but then it's like a narration. What is your
Yeah.
preference?
I, having seen 20 years of Marvel movies, I do like post-credit stingers. Those are fun. And it's
Mm-hmm.
wild watching My Hero Academia and just it's like, oh, did it do the little picture in a picture thing where it's going to the next? No? Okay, we have a stinger after these credits. So, we have all been taught not to skip the ending for fear of there being a minute or so of important stuff that you miss.
Yeah.
I like those. I do like what Demon Slayer has done with its post-credit bits with the little factoids. I really like those. I like the little character facts or historical facts or whatever they do. Like it's cute. That's part of why what we got this time threw me so badly was because I'm accustomed to what
It's
they
weird
do.
and
And
goofy.
when
And you're
they
like, what is
deviate,
this character design? And like, I don't like it. Yeah.
when they deviate in such a weird way, like I'm sure they were going for a laugh, but I was just kind of sitting there
Yeah. And you're
going,
just like, but why? Yeah.
I'm confused. What am
Yeah.
I looking at? Yeah. So like it wasn't bad, but it was
Mm-hmm.
certainly a decision.
Yes. Let us know your thoughts on those changes. And did you like it? Or yeah, your thoughts.
It's valid if you like it. My sense of humor is not everyone else's sense of humor. I say like we didn't just do about half a dozen puns in a row. But yeah,
I was
it's
like,
an option.
I had a page open and it disappeared. So
Oh
excuse me while
no,
I
please
get it.
don't stop it. Well,
Yeah, I
I
think
talked about gaming news then.
yes. I was like, wait, let's get into our oop, not that. This one. Yes. Um, there we go. Okay. Oh, is there anything else? So
Is
we
it coming? I was
yes, I
waiting for
got
the
it.
lower third to change, and it's just
I got it.
chilling.
Well, then I was like,
We have
actually,
fun in
wait.
here. We do our
We do.
best.
We are a
It's
fun
fun.
show. Thank you for joining us. All right. Well, I made you a special one because it's
Oh.
excited.
Oh.
Gaming.
Gaming. Yes.
So yes,
We
tell me gaming news and things.
Well, we talked about G4 launching tomorrow already, which is pretty big gaming news. The other pretty
Hmm.
big gaming news is that it is the 20th anniversary of the release of Halo, the thing that kept the Xbox from dying,
Wow.
the
Wow.
thing that put two joystick first
That's a
person shooters
long time.
on the map. Like, Halo was, if you will excuse yet another pun, a game changer. in terms of genre, in terms of what you're capable
Yeah.
of on a console, in terms of, again, it's the reason the Xbox survived. Like,
Mm-hmm.
fight me. Nothing else kept that console alive, but Halo being so ridiculously popular from the get-go and having a relatively solid multiplayer, especially for a two joystick FPS, is really good. It
Mm-hmm.
kept it alive. So today we had the surprise release of Halo Infinite's multiplayer mode. There was no announcement, there was no preview, there was no nothing. It was just a little bit of leaning in and going, "Hey guys, the multiplayer for the new Halo game, it's out. Technically it's a beta and they'll be rolling it into the full release, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Halo Infinite multiplayer is now available for everyone for free. So check that out
For free is always good too.
for free. Like, again, this is the game that kept Microsoft's consoles alive. It kind of knows how to bring people back in, especially people who might have seen. Halo has had a great story right up until the point where it didn't. There has definitely been some contention as to what makes a good Halo game and what does
Hmm.
not, and if the later story is good actually or bad actually. Like, everyone's got a different opinion, and it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I tend not to be quite as involved in that discussion because my discussion on, hey, is the story good, is Kingdom Hearts, and it's a whole other ball of wax.
Yeah.
Similar vein of, what, where did you stop at the story? Do you think this latest installment is good? How's the control scheme? But very, very different subject matter.
I was gonna say I don't think I've played any of the Halo games, but I watched the movies. I watched some of the Halo movies.
Yeah,
Uh,
done some books. I'm also very bad at first person shooters, and anyone who has ever watched me play Overwatch can vouch for that.
I think referring to gaming news, John asked, no, not love for Blinks the cat. Oh, no, I think that's more for Demon Slayer. I'm guessing. If it's not gaming, I'm gonna go with that. So, John, if you care to elaborate, because I guess not, because neither of us know that reference.
I feel like I should recognize that, but I don't.
Nope.
So yeah,
I'm like,
20th
what?
anniversary of Halo. Halo Infinite multiplayer is now available. Technically it's in beta, but it's up. It's up. Have fun. Have a blast. Following G4 on Twitter, and they tweeted a
Oh,
picture today of their impromptu LAN party in the office. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right for a gaming network.
okay. Yeah, it's looking it up. It is an Xbox game. So referring to saving Xbox, I guess.
No. No.
Maybe.
Like, yeah, I saw the sarcasm about, like, yeah, I get what you're
Blinks the
saying,
Time
but
Sweeper is a platform game developed by Artoon and published by Microsoft Game Studios exclusively for the Xbox. Um, there we go. Thank you. John expanded. There we go. That was a launch title for Xbox. It's meant to be the mascot platformer. It was not good.
oh no.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
yeah,
you for expanding. And we share all kinds of nerdy stuff on here. So thank you, chat, for letting us learn something new.
let's be real. The mascot for the Xbox is John 117. Fight me. Master Chief. It's Master Chief.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna change. Yeah.
That's just how it is. That's how
Yep.
it is. That's life.
Alrighty. And we mentioned it before, but briefly, we're covered our gaming news. Just wanted to give a shout out to a couple of the new anime that we referenced last week, in case you haven't started watching it, because this is tying into the things you should watch. I haven't watched any of the new anime this week, but I was watching it. But that's why you should go check it out. In terms of, like, it's really good. I just haven't had a chance to continue watching more. Or I finished
watching this new anime. We're still watching this new anime.
Yes.
You should join us in watching it.
Yeah, exactly. Or catch up in case we finish. Still say skate with like SK8, like an infinity, skate to the infinity if you're looking for a really feel good show. Super fun and just slice of life-ish. With some nice queer leanings as well, and very funny, very feel good, and just, again, really just nice, easy watch. And, like, nothing too complicated. Mirako-chan is really fun, spooky vibes. Stick with it because there's a ton of fan service, but it's okay. Stick with it. There's a lot more depth to the subject matter and context, like post-credit scenes and at the ends of episodes and as they keep going. And then you're watching a fun show that I saw pop up on the Funimation recommended watch.
All of you to join me in watching Banished from the Heroes Party. All of you. It took a turn this last episode, and I need just the world building on this show is so buck wild in terms of its power system, its blessing system, and we definitely got something where we got a little information. We're like, oh hey, I bet that means this. And then we got explicit confirmation that that was the case, and also a little more. So it's interesting. It's great fantasy slice of life, and then it's got just enough of an edge of stuff that's happening on the periphery of slice of life, or stuff that's going to affect it, to really make me go, oh, there's so much more to this. Oh, this is interesting. So I need all of you to join me in that. I think it's 6 episodes at this point have been released, so
that's not too many. Yeah, catch up.
That is an evening's catch up. So definitely join me in that. And if fantasy slice of life is not your jam, I am also still watching Digimon Ghost Game, which is again Digimon, but what if they were creepypasta / urban legends? It's incredible. I like all of the characters and all of the Digimon, which is wild because usually they manage to introduce at least one where I'm like, and then there's this person. But no, they're all fantastic. And it does a very good balance of sometimes the Digimon that's behind whatever's going on is an actual malevolent force and needs to be whacked in the face and told it's wrong. And sometimes it's one that's just trying really hard to do a good thing but doesn't understand what they're doing, or is really lonely and wants a friend, or they're not actively malevolent. That doesn't mean that they're not hacking stuff up, but they can actually be talked to and reasoned with. And I am very much waiting for this show to bring them back around, because unlike most Digimon shows, this show does not kill its villains. They're all still out there.
Okay.
So I'm so excited. I love this show. You all need to join me in watching both of these shows. You should do it. They're great.
Just watch all the stuff we recommend. Dun, dun, dun. No, or else.
Absolutely. We are the arbiters of taste, obviously. Of course.
Well, actually, I was going to say, speaking of that, not new, but new in the sense of be live action. Are you excited for the new Cowboy Bebop?
So here's the point where I turn in my anime card. I never watched the anime.
Oh.
I watched, I want to say 4 episodes of that.
Okay.
And I think part of the issue is it was such a weird smattering, and none of them were in order, and none of them were the initial episodes. So like I've seen Jupiter Jazz Part 2 and whichever episode they introduce Edward in, and
you know the name of the episode.
And Mushroom Samba.
Okay.
Which, that's not a good introductory episode. Everyone's like, it's the best one. And then I watched it and I was like, so.
Well, that's available. You can watch. I recently started a rewatch on Netflix and Funimation. You can go back and watch them. And then I also was playing around of watching them in Japanese or in English just because I was curious of what it sounded like. And the original ones, I feel I don't know what ones I watched. I just know it was a show that I'm like, yes, I've seen this show. But in rewatching it, I'm like, okay, either it's been way too long or I didn't see like the initial episodes. So I was a similar boat of like, I don't know if I remember like the first episode and like the second one, but it's been really nice to rewatch them. I think the other day I watched through at least the first 6 or 7 of them. I'm excited for the show, the live action. I'm apprehensive a little bit, if only because American remakes of anime always seem to miss how over the top they need to be, because it's like, but you're doing a live action anime, it's going to be over the top. It kind of has to be, otherwise it's an uncanny valley. Like you're like, no, you just need to commit, because there's a lot of the Japanese remakes or Japanese live action of the anime, and those can be really good, but the American ones are okay.
I don't think I've ever seen a live action remake of an anime that's been
okay.
good.
Okay. leave comments if you have seen some. Let us know any of the live action anime you liked.
Here's the thing. I watched the American Death Note movie. It would have been amazing if it were an episode of The Twilight Zone and not Death Note. Here, yeah, that's a whole other ball of wax, and we don't have time for that right now.
That's a whole other episode. No,
yeah, no. My theory for that is basically it would have been a great Twilight Zone episode. It would have been a fun standalone thing. It was not a good Death Note adaptation, but also holy shit, Willem Dafoe, amazing.
Yes,
so good.
That one as a Japanese it's a 2-part movie is really good. I remember seeing that at Anime Expo back when it was in Long Beach one year, and it was just really cool to watch. I'm like, yeah, that was a while ago.
I recommend the musical. The Death Note musical is kind of amazing.
Okay.
Oh, I love it. It's so good.
I am intrigued.
It's a musical, but also just chef kiss, man. They go for it. You have to in a musical.
Tokyo Ghoul, they made a really good live action of that one. Fair. The Bleach one has some things that don't quite work, but overall it was fun. The also one that really worked well because it's such a normal air quotes. Ace Attorney has a movie where like pretty much it's just their wardrobe and their hair that looks the most anime. But it's like, it's lawyers in a courtroom and then some other things. So it's not necessarily like as much superpowers and abilities. But that was a good one.
I watched the Ace Attorney one, but I hear it's fun.
I watched it on YouTube like a long time ago and is available, and not a pirated one. It was just one of those like, here, you can watch the whole movie. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I've seen a handful.
Going, here's the official uploads for everything. It's like, all right. Like
or it was old enough. Yeah.
Like the Child's Play TV show has the first 2 episodes up on YouTube.
Yes.
They did it.
Speaking of more things to watch.
Yes.
More stuff you should check out, and not necessarily just anime. So is there anything in particular that you would like to recommend first?
Yes. We're going for a YouTube channel this time around. And I know everyone's like, oh, she's talking about anime. She's going to recommend Mother's Basement. You should absolutely watch Mother's Basement, but that's not what I'm going to recommend right now. There is a YouTube channel called Watcher. And if you are familiar at all with Unsolved, same guys. And the particular show is called Puppet History. And it's a little 20, 25-minute history lesson in the form of a game show as taught by a little blue puppet named the Professor. And we have Ryan Bergara and also whoever their guest is at the time. And some of them are things you might already know. There's an episode about the Black Plague. And some of them are gloriously weird or obscure. Like the 1924 Olympics episode is one of my favorites because evidently the 1924 Olympics were a complete shit show. And they go into depth about the marathon and how it nearly murdered a man. The Olga of Kiev episode is wonderful. I would recommend watching them in order because there's 4 seasons. First season is 4 episodes and the other seasons are about 8. And there is kind of a weird meta plot progression throughout all of it, which I find hysterical. But if you just want one to sit down and be like, am I going to like this? Give me one episode to watch so I can figure out if I like this show. Season 1, episode 4, The Dancing Plague.
Yes, they covered that concept in another show. So I love that they did a whole episode on it. Yeah. Do you feel you actually like learn history from it because it's amusing? Nice.
Yeah, you learn from, and again, it's in the form of a game show. So here's the question, and then there's 3 multiple choice answers, so you can kind of play along. And they give some of the answers in the form of theater with puppets. And then at the end of every episode, while they are tallying the results, there is another musical performance from a puppet that appeared in the episode. So, for example, the Olympics episode, the puppet that's performing is the Olympic torch, and he's having an existential crisis. It's kind of amazing. But hands down, I love the Donner Party one, but that's definitely one you kind of lead up to because it's the Donner Party. But hands down, favorite end of show performance has to be Dancing Plague. And I'm not going to tell you who it is. You just got to watch. Take 20 minutes of your life, queue up that video, and have a good time.
Nice. I think that sounds really fun. I like when they do history or learning things in a more comedic way because I feel you just retain it better.
Yeah,
So
like it's educational, but it's also
digestible.
hilarious.
Yes. I watched not on YouTube, but over on Netflix, and totally not historical. Red Notice came out. That's with Ryan Reynolds, The Rock, and Gal Gadot. Gal Gadot. I've heard both.
I think it's supposed to be Gadot because I believe
That's what I thought too.
I'm gonna get this wrong. I think she's Greek. Regardless, she's not French, so it's not Godot.
Yes. So I was gonna say I actually thought she was Israeli.
You're right.
Yep.
You're right. Like I said, I was gonna get this wrong. But yeah, she's not French, so it's not Godot.
Yeah. Gal Gadot. And so this one, it was actually, I saw a thing too, I didn't really read it, but the idea that this has been one of the biggest Netflix opening day releases for a film. And so that's pretty cool. Is it worth watching? Yes. It's a very fun popcorn action film. The Rock and Ryan Reynolds, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and Ryan Reynolds pretty much play the characters of themselves that they play in a lot of other movies. So if you enjoy that, it's just more of that. There's nothing kind of new / like a fresh take on the kind of roles they do, but that's kind of the fun of it. Like, you know, who those kind of characters are and you like it. Ryan Reynolds is kind of like the wisecracking, funny, and they do a kind of a bit of parkour fighting with him, like him running away because he's an art thief. And then The Rock is like the straight-laced investigator kind of cop guy, and then teaming up. And then Gal's character is kind of a mystery that I don't want to tell you how she is pulled into it. But it's action, funny, again, popcorn flick, great for at home Netflix watching. And then it's like I wouldn't say like, oh my gosh, best this ever, but definitely one of those, like, if you want something fun and entertaining, yes, check it out. Something though I would recommend in theaters that I'm like, but hold that thought. I did see Dune. I have read the book once a long time ago and I started rereading it. It is part 1. In case you do not know, it is only part 1 of the first book. So it ends where it's a good ending, where you're like, okay, cool. And I like the last moments. I'm like, so oh, okay, now we're done. Because it feels like, where are you going to end it now? But it's where it's a good spot to end it of a part 1. And it says it like at the very beginning of the movie. Like some people behind me were like, wait, it's a part 1. I'm like, dude, they have the first screen up that says part 1. That too.
Have you seen how big these books are?
Yes, I highly recommend the book. The movie, seeing it on a big screen is great because you really feel like you're in it. The cinematography and just like the atmosphere and the vibe of it all, gorgeous and stunning and everything. It is done differently in the book, but not in a way that feels like it's doing a disservice to the book, but it'll be refreshing when you read it because it makes sense for a movie, because the book is so much about like, this is what somebody's thinking. You can't really do that in a movie. So they are like, here's a scene with Paul and his father to show father-son bonding, but that's not really in the book. So it's like,
you have to figure some things out for adaptation.
Yeah. So I was okay with all that stuff. Now, what does it bring new to the table? I'm not totally sure. Though how the film treats the Fremen is interesting in terms of it really is more a like desert people and then like people coming in and taking over in a colonizer aspect. So you're like, well, maybe it's giving them a little bit more respect of how they are and how they are in their environment, the Fremen. So maybe that's a little bit different a take. But again, it's still too soon to see what this version is bringing to the table that's like new and fresh. Besides the visuals, I mean, obviously, because the David Lynch one is made a long time ago, that the effects aren't just, it's just not the same. But I do recommend that just because it's like weird, because Lynch movies are fun and weird.
I was gonna say, I feel like what this brings to the table is a successful Dune adaptation, which is a rarity given the 7 or 8 times people have tried, most of which have never made.
And then the miniseries movie, but
not completely batshit insane.
Yeah, that's fair. But you know, it's interesting of like, so why now and why this source material, you know, like that kind of idea. But if you say this is true, because we want new and fresh material. But leave your comments down below if you've seen the movies and shows we've talked about and your thoughts on it. But either way, I would say it was cool. go see it in theaters. Just know it's a part 1. And if you really liked it, I highly recommend the book because you'll just get so much more out of it. And boom. So we're towards the end of our time. Is there anything else you'd like to say, Katie, before we start wrapping things up?
Yeah, I'd like to get a little political. Get vaccinated and wear a mask. Just do it. Just do it.
We're going into holiday season, y'all. Like this should have been nipped in the bud a while ago, but
be careful, show some compassion to your fellow human being. Everyone's really stressed right now, so just like be chill. Be chill. Even if you're mad, attempt to find your chill. Be kind to your postal workers and your retail workers and your flight attendants and all of these people who are trying really hard just to do their jobs. Be chill, be kind, get vaccinated, wear a mask.
I'm trying to think of, there was something I saw that it was a nice, like, take 4 seconds or something, like the idea of if you're having a reaction to a situation, it's like take 4 seconds to kind of take a deep breath and go, because like maybe, you know, we've all had our rough days. Does not mean you get to take it out on those around you. So and likewise, nobody should take it out on you either. So just saying. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us on our episode 3. Super excited that we're continuing this show and we're going on and keep talking about anime and other nerdy stuff. If there's other content that you think we should check out, please leave your suggestions down below. We may not get to it, but you know, I always love seeing new suggestions of what's something maybe we don't know about, because we love telling you about stuff you might not know about.
I'd love to see what you guys are enjoying this season that we haven't talked about yet.
Yes, because there's so much. Yes, it's like an endless supply of anime that, you know, it's so hard to watch. It's pretty much impossible to watch everything.
Yeah.
No, that's not a challenge. I don't want you to like waste away your life. But you know, you could have your highlights of what you want to watch. But yeah, if there's other great stuff you're watching, please let us know. So Katie, where can people find you online?
You can follow me all over the social medias, as well as on YouTube and Twitch at Kiaxet. That is Kiaxet.
Nice. And y'all can find me, there we go, online at Kari Delaney. That's Karidlane, all across the internet space of Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. I posted a really fun video yesterday on a green screen. My hair keyed out, which was very fun to see what that looks like on the weather wall, because it's like see-through. And yeah, so go check that out on my TikTok because it was very funny. Tune in, join us. Oh, I'm like, wait, we're at the end, but I see a comment. One more. Oh, yay. Giga Derek gave us a heart. Yay, heart back at y'all. Woo. Thank you so much for everybody joining us in the live chat. Watching it later, no worries. Comment down below all your thoughts on what we talked about this week. Join us Monday nights at 7:30 PT, and we'll see you all next week. All right, take care. Bye.
Bye.